Thank you. Peter and Jesus, alias Mike and Wendy. That's great. So there was quite a lot going on for Peter there, wasn't there? Maybe he wanted to prove himself to Jesus and to the other disciples, show himself as the brave one, the leader of the pack. Whatever was behind it, Peter did have the boldness to test what he saw and quite literally step out in faith. That can't have been easy for him. When you've grown up as a fisherman, very much aware of the perils on the water, to step onto the water and hope that you can walk on it is a very bold move indeed. And he does manage a few steps. It reminded me of our church where we have in the past made some bold moves for our future. If we wind the clock back, merging Lightcliffe United Reformed Church with Hipperholm Methodist Church was a bold step of faith, done with the hope that we would all get along and be stronger together. And what about all our community activities that we pour time and effort into, in the hope that people will come to know that they are loved? They are all bold steps of faith onto the water. In our own lives too, there'll be bold steps that we take. Some by choice, as we maybe start a new job or move house. And other bold steps we take may not be by choice. Maybe as we go through treatment for illness or keep going after someone we love dearly has died. One of the suggested activities for this morning when we were planning the service as a worship group was to give you all time to do a timeline of the bold steps you've taken in your lives. We decided not to do it. Nothing to do with your age, by the way, and thinking we wouldn't have time, but more that we think it's something that really, really deserves some good contemplation. So you might like to do that at home. Just think about the bold steps that you have boldly stepped out in faith, like Peter did throughout your life. Sometimes, though, when we step onto the water, hope isn't enough, and we do doubt, just like Peter did. After a few steps, he looked at the size of the waves, and his courage failed, and he began to sink. We heard in the sketch that Jesus admonished Peter, "If you don't keep looking at me, you'll go under." We get distracted from our hope, and we doubt. A number of years ago, I was bought a wonderful gift of paragliding above Lake Annecy in France. Paragliding is where you literally run off the edge of a mountain, strapped to a professional, in my case, I hasten to add, and let the air currents and the thermals guide you gently across the water to eventually land on the ground at the other side of the lake. The thought of it was exciting. It was a very generous gift. I'd watched the paragliders from the ground during the week of our holiday, and it looked great. I couldn't wait. And I stayed really excited until the point where I'd said goodbye to my family, and I was in the minibus winding up to the top of the mountain with the equipment and the person I would be strapped to. The reality of what I'd let myself in for became very clear. I was about to run off the edge of a mountain, strapped to a complete stranger with a silk net as the only support. It was a big risk. I remember talking to myself in the minibus, "Don't be silly. Loads of people do this every day. You've seen them. There haven't been any accidents." And I spent the last 5 minutes asking my guide all about his training. Where did he train? When did he train? How many flights had he done? Could I really hold on to him? I did, and it was fine. But back to Peter. He knew that big waves meant risk, and he was distracted. He doubted. As a church, we sometimes get distracted and we doubt. Will people come to the community activities in the week? Will people come to worship? Is it worth investing the time, the effort, the money, the love to develop what we offer for ourselves as a church and for the community that we serve? Over time, some of our activities have kept going. They've kept walking on the water, like the Good as New, Wednesday coffee, Tuesday exercise classes. Others have had their season, if you like curling, art, alpha. When an activity that we've poured our hearts into has had its season and maybe sunk, it's easy to lose hope and feel despondent, wondering, well, what's the point? Are they examples of us sinking as a church? As Jesus said to Peter in the sketch we saw, if you hold on to these things, you will go under. But if we follow the other instruction that Jesus gave to Peter in that sketch immediately afterwards, if you keep your eye on me, you will stay afloat. We will realise that our mission is changing. It's not going under. Some activities, like Tuesday talks, Friday friends, Sunday worship, have grown. Others have evolved, like On the Way. And we are developing new relationships and mission opportunities with other churches in our cluster. The prayer group being established for the Lower Valley cluster is a great way to regularly keep our eyes on God and what he wants for us. And the cluster away day in October, along with the cluster services, are perfect opportunities to find new friends and consider what our mission is now together. The Bible verses or hymn words that we shared earlier are examples of things that we can hold on to keep our eyes on God when we feel we might be sinking. And maybe you can add to your personal support library by keeping in your mind's eye the picture we've had on the screen today. Now, it's disappeared. I think I might have moved it on too much before I came back. I don't know whether, John, you're able to just go back a slide to that one. There we go. I don't know whether it moved on a timer or something. But if we look at that, it's a painting by somebody called Siga Koda, and it's called Stronghold. Very apt. We can see the frightened disciples in the boat and see Peter's hands holding firmly onto Jesus. God needs us to be bold, to keep stepping out onto the water. And Jesus will not let us sink. He will not let us drown. If we reach out to him like Peter did and keep our eyes on him, he will take us to safety and keep us afloat.